Hey everyone, Charlie Day from Day to Day Senior Care. How are you? Back again. It's been a while, about a month since we've had any podcast series going on, and I really missed it. I really, really missed it, and I'm glad to be back. There's a lot going on in the business, and I'll be explaining that in our day to day podcast series with starting your own senior care business. But there's a reason for my exit for a while. It just got really busy. But we are back, and I'm very excited. This is our Care with Confidence program. And I'm very excited to have a special guest with us that's very involved in the senior care industry and came to know him several months ago. Really, really nice guy. He has a wealth of information. Been doing it for a long time. Andrew Liebowitz, correct?
That's correct. Thank you.
Andrew, how are you?
Great to see you, Charles. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
great to see you too, buddy.
thank you.
So, yeah, we met. I think at first we found each other on LinkedIn, right?
Correct. I
Yeah,
followed
that's.
you on everywhere I could find you. I said I got to get track down this Charles Day.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw him on, I've seen your pages from on LinkedIn, and
Yep.
I finally ran into you a couple of months back.
Yeah, yeah, and I was interested. I've seen you around as well, because you're very involved from the Alzheimer's Association. You're very well connected with a lot of people in the home care, medical, non-medical industry, which to me is a whole brand new industry for me because I spent my years in the hospitals and the South Oaks Hospital as a psych aide in the late '90s and the assisted living, and then finally my 6 years in nursing home administration. So stepping out in 2024 of November and coming in to this whole new industry, which honestly, I think we've shared this. There's some really nice people, real
Great
professionals
people,
out
really
there.
great people. I love this industry. I love everyone in senior care. Fantastic people with the same passion that I have.
Exactly.
Helping
So
seniors.
yeah, so we'd like you tell us a little bit about who you are,
Sure.
the company that you're in, and yeah, take it from there.
Okay, so I'm Andrew Liebowitz. I've been in the mortgage business really since high school, going back to the
Mm-hmm.
and back in that time, we did forward mortgages. Everything was forward. Uh, we would help. We got into subprime as was a curse later on, but we really helped people. And I always heard about the reverse mortgage, and didn't know much about it, but someone would come into the office and say, "Oh, do you have any business for me? I'm a reverse mortgage guy."
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, didn't really know about it. This was at the really end of, I'd say, the forward phase for me, which was in 2007, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when banks started going out of business. Ironically, at that time, um, I was following other people in the industry that did exit at that point, and some got involved in the reverse game. I was asked to come in, partner up with somebody when my company was closing, and I said, I don't really know much about it. A couple of years after that, my own mom got a reverse mortgage. So I
Okay.
started to learn. And in this industry, we really get into this industry and we do what we do, whether it's senior care based on our family. I find a lot of people grow their passion based on family experiences. So my mom got this reverse mortgage, and I began learning about the product. And I said it was really helping my mom. At that point, she took a reverse mortgage against her house, and she put her money into annuities that would support
Mm.
her for a lifetime. She still has it, and she lives in Syosset. So she got this reverse, and I got to tell you, it's been great for her. But people take it for many different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward 2012, I jumped in with both feet, and I
Mm-hmm.
created something called the Senior Sam Show, which was a puppet show with reverse mortgages. If
Puppet
you go
show. Nice.
puppet show to teach reverse mortgages. Actually, if you go on YouTube and you look up Senior Sam Show for reverse mortgages, you'll see a puppet show I did to teach people the reverse mortgage business. I play the parts, I sang the songs, I wrote the script, and it was fun. And it got written up in the Mortgage News and so forth. And
Nice.
I was going to market that and use that to really get leads for different companies. But as time went on, I said, you know what, I'm gonna really get involved, and um, I really want to do this for seniors. I thought this was a great product to help people, especially people that wanted to, you know, uh, retirement income is not enough, pensions are enough, and
Hmm.
it supplements their income. The biggest problem with reverse is that people thought, oh, the bank owns your home when you take out a reverse mortgage. It's the biggest no, um,
Hmm.
misconception.
Okay.
So, getting around that misconception even today is the challenge, because when people take out a reverse mortgage, um, they stay in title. The kids still inherit the home.
Hmm.
Once people understand that, they're on board.
Okay.
Um,
And I mean, a lot of people, are not aware. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but there are people out there that are not aware of generational wealth and how
right,
to manage that. The last thing you want to do is sell your assets anyway. You want to be able to use them to your advantage. Loans are not, taxed, so if anything, reverse mortgages is a good way to go, correct?
correct. So
Hmm.
it's not considered income or reverse,
Hmm.
uh, and that's really important. So it's not income. Um, People are taking this for whatever they need. Home care is number one right now. It's number one need. People, a lot of the agencies are private pay. Medicaid is not so easy to get, and Medicaid has limits as to how much coverage you can get in your home. And
True.
a lot of times, people need round the clock care.
Hmm.
So what we do is we sit down with families and we sit down with the seniors. We go over the product. We don't sell it to anybody. We go over it. We
Hmm.
educate, and we'll show up. We'll sit down with somebody for hours to go over something, to go
Hmm.
over different options they have, and we never
Yeah.
do this. We never sell it to anyone. It's all about education. Once people know what it's about, they'll decide at that point whether they want to continue with an application, and they need to get counseled over the phone by a licensed counselor, FHA counselor. So we don't
Okay.
just, we're not just running to the races and going with this. We make sure that they understand, and there are some such safeguards. Remember, the seniors are only using a portion of their equity to fund whatever
Okay.
they need.
Let me ask you a question. A perfect example.
Yes,
I have a family that they're in their 90s.
right,
The husband and wife, I helped transition them from a nursing home, well, from their home to a nursing home
right,
because the wife needed the rehab and he took the ride. And when he was there, he kind of stayed too because there was some issues with dementia, so they didn't want to leave him alone. So it was all good. So anyway, they came out and we transitioned them to a sister living in Atria.
right,
So now they're getting care there. They're on a certain level of care. Mom needs some non-medical companion care, so he fills those 12-hour shifts per day, 7 days a week, for mostly overnights. The money is being spent. The family's constantly in touch with me, and they're like, because this is all evolving in real time now. So
right.
this is a good example. I want your answer or
Sure.
suggestion. So now they are tapping into sorts of resources because mom is in a private room, dad's in memory care, and that's a private room. So now you got two already. So they're using two incomes. Then they also, I mean, they're paying for two rooms plus a companion. How can we save them money? The house is already paid for.
Right.
They were already looking to sell it, possibly. Um, they or a lot of the stuff that's inside, do the estate sale. But coming from you, what would you suggest possibly that we could discuss with the family?
So if they're living in assisted living and they're not at
Hmm.
home,
Not at
uh,
home.
that we can't do because it has to be owner occupied. And they have
Owner
to,
occupied. Okay.
right. So they
Okay.
can't. That's considered if they're moving out and they're not at home.
Okay.
They're no longer on home care.
Okay.
If one of them was and one was in a facility, that would be different. But at that point, they would have to sell their home. A reverse mortgage could not be granted to somebody that's not occupying their home. They could have a
Oh.
vacation home and spend, part of their time there, or if they go into facility and come back, that's
Uh-huh.
okay. But once you leave your home, um, you can't get a reverse mortgage.
Okay.
So this is really for somebody that is getting care in their home. So it's aging in
Okay.
place.
Aging
It's
in
all about
place. Okay.
right. So
All right.
in that case,
And,
I wouldn't be able to help them
well, that's
unless
that's actually I'm actually glad you brought that up though because that is a very important point. Because I have other
they're
client families as well. Yes, I mean some of them want to be able to, stay in their home
right.
and get that companion non-medical care. and may eventually need medical care companions as well. But
Well, take a look at it this way: if they were
huh?
to, let's say, they borrowed the money last year or 2 years ago, whatever,
Hmm.
and they took the money and they put it in a line of credit, because with the reverse mortgage, we have an option of you get money lump sum the first year.
Hmm.
The second year, the money goes into a line of credit. It becomes
Hmm.
available the second year.
Hmm.
So if somebody is borrowing and they keep that money in a line of credit, and it's there and they need it, and then eventually they have to move to a facility, at least they have their
Hmm.
funds in place. So
Okay.
that would help them tremendously if they do have to move. Ultimately, they can't keep the reverse unless they're staying in their home. But emergency funds are always needed in cases like that. So, look, with a reverse, or you're getting home care, you're either doing one of three things: you're
Hmm.
getting money, you're taking money out of your bank, out of your investment accounts, you're leaning on family to help you. A lot of families
Hmm.
have their own pressure, so
Hmm.
they have their own lives going on, or you use the equity in your home, a portion of your equity, and take out a reverse mortgage and let your house work for you.
That's a great. Yeah.
Values have shot up. Yeah, so values have shot up tremendously over the last few years, um, and equity has been, really, it's been plentiful because of the values going up. So, with the reverse, the older you are, the more money you get.
Hmm.
If you're taking this loan out in your 60s or 70s, 62 is qualifying. If
Hmm.
you're taking it out, the bank is only going to lend you about 30% of the value, and that's going to cover the mortgage if you have one. If you
Hmm.
don't have one, you just go for the lump sum or line of credit.
Hmm.
And if you're in your 80s, the higher you are, your 80s, we can go even higher. So
Hmm.
um, it really depends on your age. The reverse is age driven and equity. That's all it is.
Age driven and equity.
And equity.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah.
Okay. No,
Um,
it's really good to know because I'm learning tonight too. That's,
we
what I mean, because a lot of these clients, the families will have questions, now and then about, oh, how can we stretch the funds? Like I'm the expert, and I'm like, I've been in, in the industry, but I've been on the inside, but I don't do any mortgage, no lawyer, no legal stuff. If you want to know how to get from one industry, like in a hospital or a nursing home, back to your home. I know how to work that, but
right.
all this others, that's where there's specialists such as you. Now, fast forward, because this is good for our care with confidence, because this is where families, whether they are signed up with us or just viewers that are on our YouTube channel, which, by the way, shout out to everybody. We're nearing 1,000 subscribers, and we
Awesome.
just started in March. I don't know everybody, but I just want to thank you all very, very much. Um, but this is great news. To now, what about the situation with nursing home? Now, I'm very savvy with with the admissions and getting people in, but
Right.
if how would someone be proactive with a situation such as this? Should they get their reverse mortgage ahead of time? And yeah,
Exactly.
you could share from here. Yep, because
Yeah.
the Medicaid scenario, right?
Yeah.
Share some of
What,
this
it,
with us.
what I believe is, look, um, you never know what tomorrow is going to bring. You don't know what happens, and like you said, with assisted living, nursing homes, whatever, you don't know the future. And here's what happens: some people come to me, and it's very late in the game, which is okay because the whole process takes 3 weeks from beginning to end.
Okay, 3
Um,
weeks.
yeah, what
Okay.
happens is if we get a phone call, let's say it's someone in senior care or home care or whatever, and I get a phone call or a text, give me a call, I'm in someone's home, I can run a scenario right there on the spot, and I just ask a few questions. I find out the age of the borrower,
Hmm.
date of birth, find out their values. We can look it up. We have information,
Hmm.
between real estate, geodata, whatever it might be. We'll find out comps immediately. And we just find out what their mortgage balance is if they have one.
Hmm.
What's on their last mortgage statement. Some people don't have a mortgage,
Yeah,
but if they
most
do,
don't. Yeah.
so we qualify them right away. Within 5 minutes, we can run it through the system,
Hmm.
find out what someone would qualify for. All we need is five things when we do a reverse. You need a copy of their award letters so we see what they're getting,
Hmm.
um, a bank statement, copy of their insurance, ID, um, and that's it. And basically, it takes us 3 weeks. We set up the counseling. We take the application. We set up the counseling. Counseling is done within 24, 48 hours. We can then get an FHA case certificate. and we can order the appraisal title, literally
Mhm.
close within a 2-3 week time period. But
No, that's
I
good.
like to
That's
sit
good.
in,
Hmm.
we make sure that we go to a home, we go over the program, we'll go more than once. We'll
Hmm.
sit down with families because the families want to understand it. They want to make sure that this is safe. The FHA counselor is going to tell them on the phone every single thing that we told them and go over it to make sure
Okay.
they understood.
Okay.
And you know, the also um, when a closing happens and the funds get wired, they do not. There's no check. There's no grandchildren or kids that can steal the money from their parents. We've seen it in the past. We've heard horror stories.
Oh,
Not
sure.
with us, not with us, thank God. But
I know that's unfortunate.
yeah.
Yep.
So when somebody says, "Oh, reverse mortgage is dangerous, it's terrible," no. What happens is anything that you've heard in the past, it's like anything else. When you don't pay your real estate taxes and you don't pay, your upkeep, the real estate taxes, if they're not paid, there's going to be a foreclosure, a tax foreclosure.
Yep.
So what will happen is, um, if the kids aren't aware of what goes on and the parents pass away, and then the kids are like, "Well, I didn't know there was a reverse mortgage. Oh my
Hmm.
God, I thought there was all this equity." That
Yep.
can happen. So, it's important to communicate with your family. But
Sure. Sure.
what happens, Charles, is that this is the safest loan that can be. That we stay on top of our people, as long as they're paying their real estate taxes and insurance. There's no issues. They don't have to make monthly payments for the rest of their life. If they
Hmm.
get a statement and they want to, they have options. Every month, somebody gets a statement and they
Hmm.
decide, am I going to make a payment or not make a payment? Most of the
Hmm.
time, they don't.
Oh, okay.
So
But
it's a
the
regular mortgage with negative amortization.
okay.
What it is.
So they have to pay. They definitely have to pay their property taxes,
Right.
obviously,
Right.
and any other insurances for homeowners. But the reverse mortgage doesn't have to be a monthly payment. Is that what you're
No.
saying?
So you give it an
Okay.
option. I tell people if they're taking out a reverse, it's called a HECM, home equity conversion mortgage, which is
Hmm.
a government loan.
Hmm.
Take a chunk of money and put it in a separate account. Let
An
that pay your
interest bearing account.
well, it could be, sure. Let
Right.
that pay your taxes and set it up with the bank so that when your taxes come quarterly after whatever, your taxes are being paid. You don't have to worry about it.
Hmm.
That's the safest thing to do. There are
Absolutely.
programs where if the credit is not good, the bank is going to take what's called a lease, a life expectancy set aside, which means that they're going to pay the taxes, escrow the taxes, and the insurance for a set amount of years. That's a
Okay.
safety net. So the bank wants to make sure that it's safe. So you can escrow for taxes, either voluntarily or involuntarily. It depends on the program. If your credit is not good,
Hmm.
they're going to escrow for taxes.
Sure. Sure. But like I would think a lot of elderly people have paid off their mortgages. I mean, I know my grandfather bought his house in Levittown for like $5,000 when
Right.
Levitt had the first streets done. When he's coming out of the army. So,
We
but
find that.
yeah, now it's worth a lot more than that. But yeah, so now if their house is all paid for, is there any difference in interest rates as
No.
opposed to someone who still has a mortgage and now wants to borrow from a mortgage, an existing mortgage on a home?
Yeah. It's funny. I got to tell you, somebody came to us last week. They were rejected for an equity line of credit, home equity line of credit. They had no mortgage, but they were rejected. They wanted income. They wanted different information, and their scores weren't good enough for a home equity line of credit. But they're going for actually a reverse mortgage now, and we're giving them a lump sum and an equity line of credit. They're treating it, or just a reverse, acting as a HELOC in this case. So they want to make payments on it, and they have that choice. You can take a reverse mortgage and act as a forward, and you can make payments if you choose to.
Okay.
So it's just easier to qualify. So some
Yeah.
people feel comfortable making the payments, and that's what they want to do. They decide every month if they want to make payments. Sometimes they'll make 10 out of 12, sometimes 6 out of 12, and most of them never make payments
Hmm.
because the reverse mortgage doesn't come due. The balance does not come due till you pass away. So
Oh, that's important to know.
let's
Yeah.
say somebody borrows 200,000. I'm going to give you an example.
Mhm.
The property is, let's say they're worth 900, a million, whatever it might be.
Hmm.
Someone gets 200. So the next following month, they decide not to make a payment. It becomes 202, 204. So it grows. The
Hmm.
interest is compounding, and the balance goes up.
Hmm.
So, but understand there's so much equity. Let's say they pass away 10 years from now. Instead of
Yeah.
200, whatever, they owe
Yep.
three and change. And now the kids get the home. They decide they're most likely going to sell it. They can refinance it in their name if they want to keep it,
Hmm.
but most likely they have their own lives. And they decide to sell it. So they're only paying off what the bank is owed, and they pocket the rest.
Yes.
It's great. I mean, look,
But there's also that capital gains tax you got to be careful with.
that's
Very,
why
very.
that's why seniors don't move. If you're going to move,
Yes.
if you're going to relocate in your 80s and you're paying
Hmm.
that capital gains tax, that's a lot of money, especially where there was improvements done or whatever.
Yes.
Right.
I know. I know.
So this is why we say with the reverse, you can age in place, and you want to fix up your home.
Hmm.
Instead, fix up your home. You'll have the money to do it. Live a little bit. Do something with the money
Hmm.
if you want to, or just don't struggle. There's no reason to struggle with the reverse. That's what it's there for. So
Well,
don't bother your kids. Don't.
to take care of your husband or your wife that needs companion care, medical and non-medical, or the family agreed that, and dad's not to the point, or mom, where they can't make a decision, and it's a good time for them to say, look, we could do a reverse mortgage, pay for this care, and still keep the house and the generational wealth, and keep away from the capital gains, get that reverse mortgage, and then when you
Charles,
pass,
you
right?
and I, right? You and I both know someone named Stephanie who's fantastic. So, for example,
Yeah, I know
so
Stephanie.
so Stephanie once referred someone to me. The
Mm.
the gentleman had 9 cats, I believe, in his home, and
Wow.
he was not leaving his home. He said, "There's no way I'm going to assisted living."
Hmm.
And ironically, he had a reverse on his house, and the property, it was in the Hamptons, accumulated so much, it was worth 1.4 million, and
Yeah,
it was
sure.
no, it was actually worth 2.4. The loan was 1.4. We had
Oh,
refinanced the reverse into another reverse, got him more money, paid it off, and he has home care around the clock. Around the clock, he's 87 years old.
so
He's
perfect
never
timing.
moving. Yeah, I'm never moving into a assisted living facility. I want to age in place, stay at home, and get the care here.
Hmm.
So he's got around the clock care, and this is somebody that absolutely was adamant about staying home. And it could be
Hmm.
for any reason. It could be anyone in senior care. It can be, um, it doesn't have to be a home health aide. It can be someone getting senior services, companion services,
Hmm.
whatever it might be. We
Yep.
just want seniors to be happy. We want them to not struggle. We want them to
Hmm.
be able to afford the services that that are out there. There's so many great home care professionals that you and I both know, and this
Yeah.
is something that can help them.
And I've seen a lot of families struggling when they try and, save the house. They don't want to do anything with the house. They don't want to take out a loan, but they want to go through PPL. They want to try and get, Medicaid. They try to do all these things. They're not qualified. They're waiting for months before they get a notice that says they can't, get more than 10 hours a week of care. Now they're still looking for they're still paying privately for the companions. So
See,
this is really good information to have.
you want
Um,
to know something else, Charles? I want to tell you that people
yeah.
don't know that this is the only loan. Two things, two features. You can get a reverse mortgage in a trust.
Hmm.
It's held in a trust.
That's a good thing. Yep.
That's huge. That's huge.
Of
Also,
course.
it's the only home equity line of credit that grows. So if you have money sitting in your line of credit, that second year money, and you
Hmm.
say, "Well, I'm not going to touch it," or you put money back in,
Hmm.
and you just let it sit, and you let it sit, it grows with the interest rate. That's
Yes,
unbelievable.
I know.
There's no other loan that does that.
No, that's true. Yeah. Okay. Now, two things.
Yes.
Qualification. You had mentioned earlier. So, common minimum credit score has got to be in the low sevens at least, and we're looking at. Tell me more. I mean, what types of
I'm glad you asked.
interest
So credit can be in the fives, Charles.
in the fives?
Wait, you ready
Oh
for
yeah,
this?
because you're going with the
How about
FHA.
this? Wait,
That's right.
your credit score, whether you're in the fives or you're in the eights, you're getting the same rate, same program.
Okay.
It only
What
depends
about
what
debt
happens
to
if
income
you
ratio?
have. So if you have, I'll tell you about that in a second. If you have derogatory credit, okay, and
Hmm.
let's say you have a bunch of lates, and it could be a government, it could be a student loan, it could be anything that is government, it can be a foreclosure situation.
Hmm.
Um, that's a little bit different in terms of qualifying. And then comes the set aside, so the program changes that way. But they're going to escrow for taxes then. And you ask about qualifying ratios. So the bank wants to see, in most cases, you're going to have your award letter, which you're going to have your Social Security. You're going to have, some people have a pension, some people have other sources or whatever that might be. But
Hmm.
in this case, they just want to make sure that you can afford the real estate taxes and insurance.
Oh,
So
that's the most thing. Okay.
this is why when people go for a traditional loan, and they don't qualify, this might be their qualifying loan. This might be it for them, where they can get a reverse mortgage, and
Okay.
my God, they've been rejected by other banks.
Hmm.
This is much easier to qualify for.
This is really good information to know,
We
Andrew.
can't,
Absolutely.
we can't help everybody because sometimes mortgage balance is too high. Sometimes the value is not there. If this was,
True.
look,
Yeah.
if it was sometimes we see a balance and they're in the fours and the fives or whatever, and it's just too high. And unless their values are really high, we're not able to get them. So we take a look, but we'll know right away, whether we can help them or
Yeah.
not.
Oh,
Uh,
that's yeah. At least they know there's an easier path than the traditional.
yeah, and
Um.
also, um, sometimes these people are just, they're really in a bind and they need this money, and um, they they have to pay for their FHA counseling certificate, because that's something that must be paid for. If they're
Mhm.
having an appraisal issue and they're struggling to pay the appraisal, we're going to step in and we're going to help out, and front that in many cases.
Oh, that's great news too. Yep. Now with the escrow, because you know how like with traditional mortgages, sometimes you take out a little more than you need because that helps with the down payment, that
Yeah.
helps with the first month's mortgage. Is there anything that could help them with that escrow payment they need to put up front?
Well, we say to them, look, if you're taking out a lump sum of cash, it's good to put
Hmm.
it in an account to pay for those, to pay for the taxes, pay for the insurance,
Hmm.
pay for that, and keep it in a separate account so it's there. Um, but this is not a loan that is escrowed. We're not escrowing unless it's mandatory or unless they really request it.
Okay.
So you are paying your taxes and insurance on your own unless you really request it. They'll set it up so that it is being paid that way. Um, the bank isn't going to say no, we're not going to do that. But so it's really the safety of the seniors. We want to make sure everyone's safe. They want to make sure everyone's safe. Um,
Well.
this is backed by the government. It's a home equity conversion mortgage. We do have loans that are non
Hmm.
proprietary, which are jumbo loans that aren't FHA.
Hmm.
And for that, seniors may say, well, I want all the cash up front, and
Hmm.
I don't care about that line of credit. I need the money. I need everything up front.
Yeah.
There's still a loan to value that's safe, but they can access all the money up front in that case. And sometimes they need it. And
Yeah.
look, and I'll tell you another scenario too. Think about this, and this has happened. Grandparents helping their grandchildren with down payments on homes. We've seen that. They know that they're living there for the rest of their life.
Hmm.
Nothing's being affected, so they're helping their children. We saw one case where somebody helped their child get out of a couple get out of foreclosure
Hmm.
and have no mortgage at that point.
Hmm.
Struggling grandchildren, and this is being able to help a lot of people. So the grandparents didn't feel it because they stayed in their home. They didn't make any monthly payments, yet they
Hmm.
were able to help their grandchildren, and
That's
that's
very
true.
good.
We're doing a lot of good for a lot of people.
Well, you've been doing this for a long time. I'm glad I got to know you. Um, Day-to-day senior care will happily refer you
Thank you.
because obviously, as we continue to do our meet new clients along the way and all, I always uh, there's always questions, and when someone asks about how can I save money, oh, I don't know how to do this. We need mom cared for. What can we do? Dad's willing to do something. Well, that's when Andrew steps in.
Thank you, Charles. I really
Basically, yeah, because it's a good way. Honestly, I just learned from today. It's a good way to take money and use it for the family in time of need to get that home care and stop worrying about all the complexities of going through this and that and PPL when you know what you worked, you earned it, you bought the house. It's time to help out a little bit. Appreciate it,
Charles,
Andrew.
Charles,
I,
one thing, I mean, some
yeah,
people, I can tell you, some people are fine. They're financially, they're doing
yeah,
great and they don't need this. It's not for everyone. It
I
really
know,
is.
I
But
know.
the people that we can help, look, you find out if it's something for you.
Hmm.
If it's not, you just sit with the information. We'll give it to you.
Yeah,
We'll come to you and you sit with it and you decide at a later date. But,
yeah.
I love what I do. I really do. I
I
love it.
know. You can see you're passionate about it. And you've been doing it a long time too. Anyone like you and I, if we've been in the business long enough with our, with our careers, you have to have a passion. Otherwise, this type of business, you can burn out easily, right? I mean, oh.
Absolutely.
So everybody listening tonight, we're going to be wrapping this up shortly, but Andrew's going to share where you can reach him. Where can
Yeah.
they reach you at, Andrew?
So you can reach me by, it's funny, you reach me by cell, by
Hmm.
calling, by texting 516-790-4829.
Hmm.
And yeah,
And the sign in the back. Yep, right
a
there as
reverse
well. Yep.
mortgage can change your life. Um,
Yep.
what we'll do is I'm in the business development department specialist. We send somebody to your home within 48 hours and,
Nice.
which is good. And we'll sit down with you, with the family. But that's the easiest way to reach me 24/7 every day, by phone, by
Absolutely.
text, and I'll get right back to you if I'm driving. So I'm happy to help. And Charles, I really appreciate you having me on your show. This was great.
Yeah, yeah. We'd like to have you on again in the near future too, as we continue to do our podcast series. And again, I mean, I may be giving you a call with a family in action, saying, "Andrew, come over here. This family needs to talk." All right. I really appreciate it, though.
Thank you so much, Charles. Really, I
Yes,
appreciate being on the show. It
yes.
was great.
And I'll see you out there in the community because I know we're gonna meet up again. All right.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Andrew. You have a good evening.
You too, and thank you. Bye, everybody.
All right. Bye bye.